And a very good evening to the day 4th of CSS Beginners to Advanced series. Today we will be starting with CSS Grid. As I have told you earlier, today is a very important day and we will be starting with CSS Grid. Today tomorrow we will be doing with CSS Grid, and after that, if we have some time, we will do a small project. So that depends. I cannot promise, but that depends. So I hope you all have completed the earlier videos of CSS day 1, 2, and 3, in which where we have completed CSS Basics and Flexbox. Today we will be doing CSS Grid and CSS Grid we will be doing. I will try to CSS Grid is a vast topic and it is not possible for me to finish in a single day. So I will try to cover as much topic as possible, and we'll see. Hi Sumit, you didn't miss anything. I am just talking about what we have covered yesterday and what we are about to cover today and tomorrow. So we will be starting with CSS Grid today, and I will try to cover as maximum as topics as much as the topics in CSS Grid. And tomorrow we will cover the CSS Grid and we'll try React will React React. Sumit, are you in some group, WhatsApp group or not? In case if not, we will sharing you the WhatsApp group link. You please join it, and you will be getting they are updated with all the schedules, with all the plans, like that. So, so let me start with CSS Grid today. One second. Let some more people join. After that, we will be starting with CSS Grid. And one second. In fact, React Native is going on at 7 p.m. every day. React Native is going on at 7 p.m. every day. React we will update in the WhatsApp group. In case you are not there, please join. Or in case you want the link, we will share here. So, a warm welcome to all of you. Let me quickly start with CSS Grid now. For CSS Grid, we will be using the browser as Mozilla Firefox Developer Edition because it will help you a lot. Coding Kiddo, hello Coding Kiddo. So, one second, let me create a new folder. So I hope my fonts are visible to all of you. Basic files I have created, index.html and style.css. So let me quickly start with CSS Grid. So what is CSS Grid? Earlier, as you all know, and as I have already told you, in 1995 CSS was invented, and in 2015 a major change updation has been occurred in CSS by the W3 schools, where CSS Flexbox and CSS Grids have been introduced in the system. So why CSS Grid have been introduced and why it help you and how it help you? It will actually help you to get out of from the bootstrap. This is the main reason of the introduction of CSS Grid in CSS. So, Let me actually link the theoretical part with the practical part so that you can easily grasp the things, how to add it, how to use it, how to implement it. So, as I have told you, Flexbox is only one directional, that is row level. So there is a specific reason why grid is being introduced, as grid works on both the direction, that is row level and column level. You can use grid in row level and column level, both the axes. So let me quickly have some divs so that uh, 1 second. Let me quickly have some div so that I will try to make you uh, make you understand how this grid function is working. For this, 1 second, let me quickly have some divs. And so save it. Let me open it with live server. So hi Sandeep. So let me tell you one thing once again. You all can get a chance to. You all can get a chance for a participation certificate in case you fill the online attendance form, which we will be sharing in the YouTube live chat every day. So once you fill it every day for all the 5 days, you can get the participation certificate. So save it, perfectly fine. So what I did, as you all know, basic HTML skeleton we have created, and let me change it to CSS. Save it. So CSS grid is there. Okay, fine. So yes, CSS grid has appeared here. So now we have created a parent container. Inside we have 10 items, and in style dot, and we have linked both the style, both the CSS and HTML. 1 second. Okay, fine. And we have linked both the files, and a basic color coding we have inserted for the HTML. As you all can see, nothing special here we have completed. We have inserted a background image, some colors, some minimum height, and for nothing more much we have created. So copy the parent name, Control C, save it, and dot container. So let me have the display as grid, save it. Nothing will happen, as by default it applies on row level. So let me have grid template column of 200 px and 300 px. Save it. So as you all can see, we have created two columns, one of 200 px and another of 300 px. So why I have used Firefox Developer Edition here? There is a specific reason which I will tell you right now. So here, as you all can see, these grid lines are visible now. So these grid lines are not visible in any of the available browsers. There's a this for this reason we have actually used the Firefox Developer Edition. So let me have the rows also. Grid template rows will have 200p. 1 second, why it is not working? 200px, 100px, 300px. Save it. So as you all can see, we have actually created two columns, these two columns and three rows, 1 2 and 3. So what has happened here, our content are much more than the available space what we have created. So due to this, the available content have shift lower and 1 second, have shift lower and have created a space for themselves based upon the size, based upon the height. They have actually created the space for themselves. So as you all can see, let's use another property of grid gap. Have 2px, save it. Grid gap is nothing but the space between the items. Let's have 5px, save it. So as you all can see very clearly, the space what we have inserted is called as grid gaps between the items. These are actually used to have the things look more beautiful, more soothing. CSS is nothing but designing and designing and designing. So this is a property of grid gap what we have used. Here, as you all can see, why this 7, 8, 9, 10 cells have used not the space of the columns or not the space of the rows what we have designed, what we have given, because this is the by default nature that they will use the available space, the size. They will use, let me make it very simple, they will use the size of the content available there. If it is large, the available, if the content is large, the size of the box will be large. So as you know, grid is very responsive. This is this is one of the feature. So now as you all can see, two type of lines are there. Let me make it large. As you all can see, dots and dash, dots and dash. 1 second, dots and dash. Okay, so these are called as implicit tracks and explicit tracks. Please do remember this -1. I will tell you why I told you this -1. There is a specific reason. So going back to the normal size. So what are implicit tracks and what are explicit tracks? These are the tracks used to differentiate, or let me tell you very simple, the explicit tracks which are marked as dash lines and the implicit tracks are marked as dotted. The dotted lines are the implicit tracks, dash are the explicit tracks. So They are created because we declared them using grid template column and grid template rows. It's the by default nature that they will create as we have given them the property using the grid template row and grid template column. So the implicit tracks are marked by dotted line and they are called implicit because they are created by the grid system. We only have three rows because of grid template rows and only two rows are implicit because we didn't define them. So as you all can see, perfect. So let me use another property which is called as grid auto rows. Grid auto rows will have 200 px. What is grid auto row? Grid auto row is something like that. In case any of the content are left, they will use a property, they will use a size of 200 px. As you all can see, 7, 8, 9 and 10 have used the available space of 200 px. So this is the feature of grid auto row. As you all can see, 7, 8, 9, 10 have the space of 200 px. Now moving on to the next topic, auto flow. By default, any implicit track is created in the next row. As we have 10 items and we have created only 2 column and 3 row. By default, the next available item have created in the row pattern only. Okay, as you all have seen. So now in case we want an item to create in the column level, there is a property which is called as the auto flow property. So for this, let me hide it. 1 second, comment it out, save it, and control Z. So now in case if we want an item 3 to be created, okay, if we want an item 3 to be created in the column pattern, in the column level, so there is a specific property which is called as auto flow. 1 second, 1 second. Okay, fine. So we'll have it of 400 px and 200 px. So as soon as we will create the item 3 here, by default it will come in the column level, C, in the row level. Why? Because it's a natural property to by default create a item, by default place a item in the row level. So if we want the item to create in a column level, there is a property called as grid auto flow. So as you all can see, as soon as I have given this grid auto flow, by default the item number third have moved to the column level. Perfect. So this is the property. This is a very useful property which is called as grid auto flow, which helps to actually place the new items in the column level. By default, it's a natural behavior to by default it is a natural behavior of the grid where the new available items will move or will place in the row level. In order to overcome that, we have the property called as grid autoflow. So now we will see the sizing tracks in CSS grid. For this, let me change the HTML first. Save it and div class item 1 to 10. Perfect. Favorite, we have actually created some more items here, and here we require only autoflow. I hope you all have understood. It is a very important property. One second, let me do the basic styling now. Perfect. So as you all can see, we have already give a command of display as grid. So by default it moves in the row level. So now let me create the column using the C. So now saved it. So as you all can see, there is a special another method in order to insert columns. Apart from px, we can use percentage also. So this will result in this way. But as you can see, the last of the item number 4, 8, and 12 are not perfect, as they have actually moved towards the right, and actually what I can say, they have actually stick to the right. So in order to, like similar to 1, 5, 9, and 13, item number 4, 8, and 12 are not perfect. So in order to make that perfect, why it is not perfect? Because we have given 25% into 4, that is 100%, and a grid gap of 20%, that equals to 120%. So this is the reason why the last of the items are not perfect. So in order to, CSS Grid introduces a new unit. So in order to fix it, Grid have a new unit called as FR, and let me show you how it works. One second. So for this, let's have the basic CSS, and we are also using a border to get the space taken by the grid. So let's have two explicit width column of 200 px and 150 px. One second, 200 px and 150 px. So now, in order to Let me have border of 2px solid of green color. Green is not looking good, so let's have the by default color as black. Fine. So by default we have created a box, and inside the box we have created two columns. Omkan Tyagiji, good evening. So here, how we will be using the FR property in the sizing of the grid. So let me give as one FR. So now see the magic. As you all can see, the leftover space has been taken up by the next item. This is called as the FR property, where we have created three columns, one of 200px, another of 150px, and the last column of 1FR. So the next available space have been taken by the next available item, which have uses the property of 1FR. So now let's add another column with 2FR, which means the leftover space has been used after using the by 200px and 150px by 2FR and 1FR. So as you all can see, twice of the leftover space has been used by the item number 3, 7, 11 and 15, and after that the leftover space has been used by item number 4, 8 and 12. This is the property of FR property. So now let me introduce another property which is called as auto. So here we will use auto. Now see the magic. What is auto? If the size, depending upon the size of the item, automatically based on the size, they will allot the space. So let me change the size to, see, this is the magic. Based on the size of the content, automatically the space will be allotted. So after that we have 150px. So 150px space have been allotted to 2, 6, 10 and 14. After that 2FR, and after that 1FR. I hope uh, linking the things with practical makes sense. So now let's add some larger content. It is not required, actually I have covered it. Now yes, very important property which is called as the repeat function. So the repeat function have two parameters. One, the times something to be repeated, and other, the sizing. So in case, one second, auto, 1 minute, wait, let me change it to auto repeat two times of 2FR. So what has happened here? Auto is, as you all know, depending on the size of the content, automatically they have allotted the space. After that, repeat two times of 2FR, the next available space. We have told him to divide the next available space two times and create 2FR. So in case if you want 1FR, it will work like same only, nothing will happen. 1 second. Three types of 1FR. 1 second. We want 3 times of 1FR. So as you all can see, auto is for auto, 3 column of 1FR, and the leftover space has been used by 2FR. So moving on to the next topic, as using a combination of repeat auto is a very powerful thing which you all can see. So moving on to the next topic, or in case you want, no, perfect, fine. So now let me have the sizing grid items. For this, let me add some more rows. We will have 5 times of 1FR. Auto is not required. Let's remove it. And this 2FR is also not required. Let's save it. So as you all can see, we have created 5 columns of 1FR, which is a very important property. And this is also not required for commenting out. So now let's target one item 9. Not item 9, and we'll have the background as aqua, and we'll change the width to 500 px and save it. So as you all can see, item number 9 has been highlighted with aqua color, and with the aqua color, with this aqua color, this item number 9 have actually disturbed the entire column. Ideally, it will not work. It will not work like that. Ideally, it has to does not ideally it does not have to change or to disturb the rest of the items. So for this, there is a special property which is called as the span property. For this, let me have span in grid column of 2. So as you all can see, they have actually used the space as per the availability, as per their need, without disturbing the rest of the columns. 1 second. So now it is looking perfect. So as you all can see, using this span property in the column wise, similarly you can use the grid 1 second, grid row, span. So saving it, you can actually use the space like this. You can use it in both column level and row level. Using this, the rest of the items will not suffer, and you can use the available space or the desired space what is being required. So I hope things are getting clear, and you people are not liking the videos. Likes are very less, so I again request you to please like it. We will be sharing the attendance sheet in some couple of minutes, so please fill it online. You can get the participation certificate, which will add in your resume, add in your career. So let's have uh, mm, mm, mm. So using this, what we had done there, there is a special, or you can say alternate, or a shortcut. Will have the grid column start from 3 and grid column end to 5. So see what has happened. So we have targeted item number 9, or let me do one thing. Let target item number 15. So please focus on item number 15, as we have given the grid column to start from third. So first, second, third till fifth, fourth and fifth. So till fifth, they have actually used the available space of 500 px. See, similarly, we can have grid row start from let's have 3, and grid row end to 6. Let me see. Yeah, okay, okay, fine. See, so there is also a third shortcut using it. Just using the span feature, we'll have uh, we will use it using the grid column start from 2 oblique till -1. See, for item number 15, starting from 2 to -1, or let me change it to -2 also. Let's target the item number 9 once again. So this is the feature. Using the oblique function, you can also use the span feature. Similarly, for grid row, see, starting from 2 till -2. So here you go in a positive note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in the return you can also count in a negative pattern as -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. So it's just one and the same thing. So let me finish it today. Or one second, let me share the attendance sheet first. Thanks, Sandeep. I have actually we have designed the things in such a way so that you people can correlate the things more practically than theoretically. And please fill the attendance form. System will share at any point of time. I have completed the CSS grid for half of the things. Else, if I covered rest of the thing, it will be very, 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 puzzled. It will puzzle you. So rest of the things I will cover tomorrow, and we will try to do a small project also, depending on the time. So you all are requested to please fill the attendance form, which is there in the live chat. So please fill it properly, and make sure you hit the like button, which will help not me, the YouTube, in its